Good morning and welcome to the Tampa Zoo. We're here for our first ever visit here to the Tampa Zoo. I'm very excited to explore this zoo. It's known as a very good zoo, so I'm excited to see all the animals they have. They also have a couple attractions here that you don't normally see at a zoo. So again, very excited for all that. They do have a splashdown boat ride that we're very excited to ride because we haven't ridden one in quite some time, just because there's none down here anymore other than the one that used to be at Busch Gardens but is no longer there. I want to say a big thanks to the Tampa Zoo for inviting us out today and giving us admission for the day. So we're gonna be heading inside. We're just here right at the front entrance. That's where you come in, right over here. And we're gonna head off. So right here at the front entrance, they do have a gift shop, obviously, at the front entrance, but they also have Macaw's Landing Cafe. That seems to be a main dining location just here right at the front. It does seem to have lots of indoor seating, but also some outdoor seating if you want to do that in Florida. In the winter, it's nice. It does look like they do have breakfast in the morning, so that's always cool. Again, we're gonna start walking around, but we are trying to make our way to the rides, I think soon-ish, just to avoid any weather complications possibly or later. But I love this entrance area. They're actually redoing the out front entrance right now, so parking's a little bit different, but they're just kind of redoing that front entrance area. The art that they did put up for it makes it look very nice. But yeah, we got a very nice sculpture of some manatees back here. They do actually have a manatee exhibit coming in 2026, so it's not quite open, but it will be coming next year.
You guys want to turn around and watch the beautiful birds and fly?
As we're heading straight back from the entrance, we're just walking straight. On our left is the primates. We're gonna be, again, checking out the whole park here very soon. I think, again, we're just trying to make it to the rides really quick. It doesn't seem too busy today, but that obviously can change. Straight back is the carousel. They do have an animal-themed carousel. That's nice to see. Again, this park has a little bit more attractions than you would normally expect with a zoo. So that's 100% fine with me because that's what I enjoy. Again, carousel over here for your little ones to ride. And right to the left of the carousel, we do come across what we were looking for. This is Roaring Springs. This is a splashdown boat ride. It is right over here off to the left side. It is actually going around right now. To my knowledge, this is going to be a soaker, so we'll see how this goes. Not a huge ride, but again, I wasn't expecting much. This is basically exactly what I expected. It's actually got some nice little theming around it. So you got to look at landing. That's obviously like where you go to stand to get soaked up at the top. It does seem to be a one boat operation. It is just a small little path. It just goes around, goes up the left hill and then comes down the drop. They do have some nice theming up there, up on the like bird nest. This is, I think, the bird area. We're kind of in here. Again, we're gonna go give it a ride. We are allowed to on-ride film with you guys, so we're bringing the GoPro on, and we're about to find out how wet we get. So we just got off Roaring Rapids. That is, again, their splashdown boat ride. As you just saw, honestly, not as wet as we thought it was going to be. We really expected like a soaker, and it seemed like almost riding in the front was better because the people behind us looked more wet than we ended up getting. So I'm actually not that wet. It was kind of more refreshing. It was kind of that not quite soaked, but you still got wet. My shoes didn't get wet at all, and that's always a plus for me, is when my shoes don't get wet, because that's usually the downfall of me at any park. When my feet get wet and I walk all day, it just feels horrible. But again, it was super fun. It's very abnormal and very impressive that a zoo is actually building attractions. So I was super glad to see that. It was super fun, and that's, again, one of the bigger reasons we came. But we're gonna go, again, keep walking around. We'll decide where we're starting here in just a moment. So Roaring Rapids is right over there. This is the carousel here. Thought I would start us off over here in Australia, just because it was what was close to us. They have a very nice entrance sign over here for it, with theming on both sides that I always like to see. Over here they do have a massive kids like water play area. That does look quite fun. Then they do have some, I'm assuming it's kangaroos. They look a little small to be kangaroos, so they might be wallabies. Let me check. I was correct. Yeah, they're wallabies. They also have an emu somewhere in here. I don't know if he's out. We're here pretty much at opening, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of the animals aren't quite back, so we'll just have to see. You can see the wallabies right over here. And then over in this area, they also do have some more like kids flat rides. They also do have a kids coaster that we were gonna hop on, but currently it is temporarily closed. It does say temporarily, so we'll just have to end up seeing if it does open today. If it does, we will bring you guys on, but again, that's just operational stuff. Obviously, things don't always work as intended. I also do stand corrected. The emu was just out of my sight line. He is right there, just right above the bushes, avoiding everybody early this morning. And right next to the wallabies and emu, they do have koalas. I love koalas. They do have two of them. They are separated. I'm sure there's some sort of territorial kind of thing with them. But best to film both of them. One's here on the right. They're obviously both sleeping up in their trees. And the other one's right over here off to the left. Also sleeping, but kind of giving us the side eye for being here. Then they do have a sun yard out here that I don't know if they can just walk out here, or if it's kind of like a trainer thing where they can bring them out at points of the day. Super cute though. I love koalas, so I'm glad to see them here. And right next to said koalas, there is the Outpost Grab and Go Market. It does look kind of like a grab and go stand. It does look like it has a little bit more like hot items than you would normally get. But again, it's nice to see more than one dining location, because sometimes zoos have that bad habit of only having one. So really glad to see that. They also do have some plastic recycling machines all around the park. And then over here, we do have the Flying Bananas. That is one of those flying kids rides that just, fly around. Not really need to film this. And then they do have like a koalas clubhouse. That's just a little kids area. I'm glad to see so many kids areas in this park. Obviously, it's a kids park, but it's really great to see a lot of kids areas for a zoo, because I don't know. Sometimes I just think when I was younger, that's always what I wanted. They have a boomerang bar over here that seems to be serving Planet Smoothie. They do have a lot of gift shops all around the park, like just little pop-up gift shops. Now, and this might be the funniest thing I've seen all day. They have one of those little trek rides that's just like a little car roundabout through a little Australian outback area, and it's called Aussie Trek, but it's sponsored by Outback. Like least Australian restaurant. It's super funny to me, but it's here. It doesn't look like it's too big. It does look like it just does a tiny little loop, goes right around, goes right a little back there, a little bit of a loop around, and then it comes back to the station. They also have a petting zoo over here with seemingly some goats, and I do see a llama in the back, though he is not interested in coming out in the heat. Looks like he's got a fan back there and he's content with staying there. Oh, there's the second one. They can see the second one in there staring right at me. I do love seeing petting zoos. I don't love petting zoos personally, but I think they're cute. Obviously all the goats are here. So they did just start testing the coaster, so hopefully we'll be able to get on in just a second. We do have a bird sanctuary to still walk into. I just want to point out this. This is crazy. I've never seen this before. They have a Wendy's Frosty stand where you can get like a build your own Frosty sundae and different Frosty like items and stuff. I don't know. I've just never seen this before. This is very interesting. It looks very new. It looks like they seemingly just put this in. Just thought it was very interesting. We'll check out the bird sanctuary, then we can hope that the coaster will open here in just a moment. Yeah, just a bunch of little birds. Oh, they have a big group of them back here. Oh, that one's pretty. See if I can get it to not focus in on the cage. There we go. So we are over here at the Tiger Coaster now. It does look like it's not your bog standard little family coaster. And it looks like it might push some G's at the bottom of this little helix here. So, they're really interesting. It does do a 2-lap operation, so it's just going right around. Again, you don't see a more unique kid coaster like this, I feel like, as often. So, we're gonna give it a ride. We can bring you guys on. Well, that was a very fascinating little kids coaster. Pretty rough. It wasn't like the rough like you're getting beat up, but it was throwing me around a lot. The weirdest part of the whole thing, I think for me, was the straightaway at the top is so slanted. I don't know if you could really tell in the video, but it's like you're like hanging off to the side the whole time. Didn't pull as much G's as I thought I was gonna at the bottom of the helix. It still definitely kind of whips you around it. And I also thought it was very interesting that the operator actually controls the brakes on it. When we were standing there watching, he controls when to stop the coaster. That's kind of interesting. Obviously, that means on a slower day, if like kids wanted to keep riding, he can just let them keep riding. I think that's kind of an interesting design. So we're actually made our way over here. Back there is the splashdown. Back behind us is where we just were in Australia. That's kind of the kids area. We're heading into Africa now. This seems to be where some of the bigger like animals are, like the elephants, the white rhinos, stuff like that. It looks very well themed. I'm really enjoying the look of this zoo. It looks very well kept. Everything is super well painted, very colorful. Everything looks like it's new. So again, big props for that. But we're heading back here into Africa right now. So as you enter Africa, right off to the right side, we do have the Wild Africa Expedition. This seems to be kind of the main attraction. I believe this is kind of the safari type thing, other than, you know, the splashdown ride. But again, this seems to be kind of the main one. This seems to be the biggest and most well-themed area in the park is Africa. So we're gonna hop on the Wild Africa Expedition. It's posted 30 minutes. I don't know if it actually will be. We'll kind of see. I don't know how many like cars are running, how big the line is. So we're walking in now. Well, hopefully we don't actually wait 30 minutes. Not too many people. We have maybe a single car in front of us, so it shouldn't be too long. They do have some vending machines in the lines. One thing we have noticed a lot, they have a lot of fans in these lines, and that's always good to see all around them, and pretty powerful ones too in all the attraction lines we've been in. So again, that's good to see, especially with it being so hot here in Florida. Not too bad out today, but it's good to see.
Let's ride. All of our lap fitters will become lap standards. And then I'm also going to ask that all heads and arms remain inside the truck at all times as well. And there is no eating or drinking on the truck besides water. You guys are okay to have water. We want to make sure you guys are all hydrated. So as we remain the platform, we can like wave bye to our friends in line. And none of them wave back, but that's okay because you'll never see them again. And then we're gonna look out onto the passenger side and we're gonna wave bye to Daniel. So I did see them towards the middle of the habitat. So as you can see, there's lots of toys in here for our potted monkeys. The potted monkeys are one of the fastest primates. Yeah, and so they do like to spend a lot of time on the ground, running around and climbing things as well. We're a multi-generational, all-female family in here. We have a grandma, her 2 daughters, and then her 2 grandchildren as well. But we can be moving on to our next. But these are our marabou storks. They're one of the largest flight birds. They have a wingspan of about 10 feet. And so we do have 3 of them here on the passenger side as well. So the one that you can see super well, that's one of our babies. So we do have 3 of them. They were all born, I believe, about 6 months ago. There's another one of our young ones shown here on the passenger side as well. So we do have 7 bongos. We have the 3 young ones. They were all born about. If some of you want to stand up to get a better look at him, you're welcome to do so. This one. The okapis are known as the ghosts of the rainforest. There was no okapi pictured in person until 2008. Does anyone have any guesses as to what kind of animal okapis are related to? Currently, and his dad is Mufasa. And then the rhino that we are closest to currently, that is Sujo. We like to call her Funny Aunt Sujo. She doesn't have any cats, but she does act as a pretty good babysitter to Maku. And then our other young rhino, her name is Daruba. So Daruba is going to be the one that is closest to us near that fence back there. She's going to be smaller than the other 2 rhinos out here. So we like to call her Ruby. She just recently turned 4 years old. And then her mom is going to be the rhino that's out towards the middle of the habitat. And then hanging up top above our females is a puzzle feeder. So the puzzle feeder promotes their natural behavior, how they would use their trunks to reach up to the top of trees to get food. And that is exactly what we are promoting here. And now we are getting a better look at some of our elephants. We'll definitely get a good look at Suza, our male elephant over here, so you're passing him. You may notice how his their body temperature. And then you also may notice how thin his ears are as we're passing. So elephant ears, that's the thinnest part of their skin. And that is where our care staff is able to perform voluntary blood draws from. Looks like Mr. Suza is showing off right now. But on the driver's side, we are now passing through our elephant night bar. Our 2 other elephants are inside from a puzzle feeder right now. So we do have 4 giraffes. We have 3 females and 1 male. So one of our females is standing right behind Sakani as well. So Sakani is our largest giraffe here. He is, I would just ask that we don't make eye contact with him. He sometimes thinks that we are going to be stealing his girlfriend, so we don't want to enable that behavior. The corner, we call him Big Al. He is our oldest male tortoise here. He is in his early 50s, which is quite young for an Aldabra tortoise. These are they're still juveniles, so they are quite small, but when they're full grown, they can be anywhere between 500 and 700 pounds.
So we just got done with the safari. I thought it was very fun. I definitely think that's one that is a must-do here. That's definitely a must-do attraction. Obviously, you can see a lot of those animals we saw on the safari up close, so we're going to be doing that right now. I wanted to point out they do have another food spot here that seems to have like pizza and wings and stuff called Savannah Oasis. Another indoor food location just as we're walking past. But again, definitely a must-do when you come here. Make sure you do the trek. It was very fun, and it's about 20 minutes in total. I'm sure you didn't see too much of it just because I didn't want to put the whole thing in, but I might upload it all by itself if you really want to see the whole thing. We're just going to go out on the tortoises right now that we did see towards the end, but we didn't get a good view of. There is a better view of one of the Galapagos tortoises. We were kind of on the wrong side from where I was sitting. They do a lot of up-close encounters here, so if that's something you're interested in, definitely look at it. They have, you know, like up-close encounters with the tortoises and stuff. So if you're a big animal fan and, you know, you want to get a little bit more of a unique experience, definitely check those out. There's a few of the storks over here too, all hanging out right here. They did mention on the safari that they do have a species of stork, I cannot remember its name, they're one of the only zoos with the species of stork, so it's pretty cool. I think they said they would have a 3 out of the 5 in North America, so really unique that they have them here. Again, this is some great viewing of the animals though. You can see one of the giraffes right here. We saw one on the safari that they did say they thought it was the male one hanging out in the back. See another one over here in the shade. You get some really good views of the animals out here. So obviously you see the female elephants all grouped up under the shade. Don't blame them, it's hot. Bunch more animals in here too with them. Again, they did mention that the male elephants are solitary, so they're gonna be a little bit separate. But yeah, I will say one thing about this park, they have a lot of fans and a lot of shade, and I really like seeing that, especially when it's so hot out. They just have a lot of shaded walkways, a lot of shaded areas to take breaks, shaded benches with fans. They have misters all over the park, so again, super cool. We're gonna go see the white rhinos though up close. You can definitely see the rhinos from very up close over here.
Yes, so when you guys come and you purchase a ticket to our zoo, you purchase a pretzel, or you purchase this experience, most of that profit goes towards these conservation partners. What the International Rhino Foundation is going to do is they're going to provide rangers to protect the rhinos. They're going to provide researchers. Also, through that source and funding that research, we are able to find a way to bring that population back to the zoo. So it's very effective. You guys can give us a find out.
I've been advised to go inside here just to check it out real quick. This is the Savannah Oasis restaurant. Oh yeah, it's pretty nice in here. Oh, it's got good air conditioning too. Yep, looks like they got pizza. Got a massive ordering counter over here. Giant screen. Definitely looks like they could hold events in here too, kind of like an event hall. Lots of seating. Pizza smells really good in here. Looks like they're installing self-checkout kiosks. They don't seem to be on. Maybe they're on sometimes, maybe not. We have drinks here. Again, pizza pickups in the back. Seems like this is mainly a pizza pickup place. This is really well themed actually. This is super cool looking. I don't know if it comes across as well on camera just because the lights are blowing it out a little bit. But again, this is very nice in here. I think this is super nice. It does look like the Aussie Trek that we saw earlier is new because they do have a sign up for it right there. Let's see, prices wise, pizzas for cheese or pepperoni pizza, $7 for a slice, $37 for an overall. A little bit more for if you want like a supreme pizza or anything. Not bad at all. I think that's pretty normal theme park pricing. Or not theme park, zoo pricing. It's actually pretty low for theme parks. They do have one of those gem excavator things over here too. If your kids are interested in that, where you get a bag and then you can find stuff inside. We made our way out of Africa. Definitely my favorite part of the park so far. Again, super well themed. I'm blown away by the theming of this whole place. Over here, right off to the side of Africa, is Penguin Beach. We can see some of the African penguins. Oh yeah, here's the penguins. Very well kept in here too. Definitely noticed that all around the park. Whole park seems to be very well kept, painted, and the animals seem very well cared for. So if that's a worry for you, definitely don't be here. They have a lot of accreditation here too. Does seem like even the African penguins don't want to come out in this heat. There's, what, 3 of them probably standing right there? One's peeking its head out the door. Well, we made our way back over here next to the splashdown. This is I think our last area of the park. We're not for sure. We didn't pick up a map, so we'll find out after we're done. But this is Florida Wilds. This is going to be the Florida section of the park with gators, panthers, black bears, stuff like that. So on your way over to Roaring Springs, you do have an American black bear. I do spot him. I'm going to see if I can film a little bit from the fence side over there, but he is just laying right over in the corner. And then just right off to the side is the first entrance to the Florida Wilds area. I do stand corrected, we do have a couple more areas after this. They're pretty small. We walk past them right as we walk in. So we have the Florida Wilds, that is this area here, Florida's coast. That's a very small area at the front that almost connects with the Florida wilds, but we do have to walk back around. And then we do have primates and then an Asian area. So we're gonna walk through the Florida wilds first. Again, the black bears do have a over the top thing, but again, he's just taking a nap. He's found like the spot to sit there. So do have a red wolf here. He has a little house right over here. I would assume he is very much inside, not when he'd be out in the heat. I would definitely say that when you come in the middle of summer here in Florida, some of the animals will be more active because some of them like the heat, but a lot of them will be like, yeah, I want to sit inside. It is too hot here. So definitely keep that in mind if you are, again, coming here during the summer. More of the American black bear habitat. I believe this is connected to the other one, and again, he is out like a light over there, so don't expect to see him anytime soon. We do have some flamingos over here. Very pink ones. Not too many of them. Not enough to make it stink over here. That's always a positive. There you go. All sitting in the shade. Nobody wants to be out in the sun today. Neither do I. I believe we have some skunks over here that we'll go check out real quick. So I thought this was skunks. If there is skunks in here, there's multiple things. There's a big group of tortoises. Then there is a bird back on the right over here. There's a lot of holes and places to hide, so maybe the skunks are in here? I don't know, they have skunk signs, so I thought there were skunks over here. Right off this side here, it does look like we have some owls. They're also very sleepy. They're very cute though. It's hung up against the fence. Oh, hello. We have a big owl over here. This is a barred owl. They also have a Florida box turtles in here somewhere. I don't see them. He's got his eyes on something. There's two in here too. The other one's sleeping in the back. I also do stand corrected. I believe this is connected to the other enclosure. I found the other black bear. I don't know if you can see him real well. Or her. I'm not sure. But right under this little canopy in the shade. Loving their shade today. Right to the left of them, a separate enclosure, is the Florida panthers. We'll check out if we can see them. I would love to see the panthers. I really like panthers. We also do have a great horned owl over here. They're also wide awake. There's two of them, it seems like, in their enclosure. We have a viewing area over here. I'm not sure what this is for. I would say this is gators. Doesn't look like they have gators right now. Or if they do, they're working on their habitat some. Unfortunately, at this moment, I do not see the panthers out. They might have also said, nah, it's a little hot. I don't want to go outside. 1000% valid. But if you come here, hopefully you get to see them. I love panthers. Yes, this is the alligator. Okay, I thought that was the case, but it looks like they are either working on the habitat or they don't have any gators right now. Obviously, zoos sometimes switch out what they have every once in a while. Right off here to the side, they also do have a bald eagle. I would say he's injured and probably flightless. And that's why he's just in a standing room here. Once again, hanging out in the shade. I'm starting to see a pattern today. They do have manatees over here. As I mentioned earlier, it seems like they're doing another manatee something in 2026. They had something out front that said manatee 2026, but they do have manatees right now. And they're all over here in their own little cove area. Oh, I see them. They're over the side. There's some turtles, though. They're all grouped up. I would say they're all waiting to head into the other spot. Kind of an also interesting thing, they do have, it looks like they're all waiting to head back into their back pools. They do actually show off all their manatee medical pools and stuff all back here. They also do have another big manatee spot over there. We'll be able to see that from the other side of the Florida area. But again, this is kind of like the separate part here. So it's kind of cool that you get to see this whole back area. A lot of zoos would not let you. Alrighty, so we're making our way back towards the front of the park. Just for wayfinding, we're back by the carousel now. We are moving into primates. So this can be monkeys, gorillas, orangutans, all that good stuff. Forgive me, I don't know that much about animals, but we do have some monkeys over here. I believe Animal Kingdom does have some monkeys that are similar to these. They're kind of chilling out. They've got like an island area with a nice waterfall. We have some monkeys over here. It looks like we do have some baby monkeys too. Try to get a little bit closer, get you guys some better shots. One's playing on a swing. Baby monkey's just hanging out below. That's super cute though. Unfortunately, they do have lemurs. I don't think I'm going to get a good shot of them. They are all the way back in their cave system right behind their jungle area. Definitely the monkeys are the most active thing we've seen so far today. Been really active out here. Over here in the primates, they do have a sloth. He is also just hanging out next to his hole to get back in, right in the back over there. Right in there. Then over here towards the end of the monkey, or the primate exhibit, we do have some baboons. He's also sitting in the shade off in the corner. He's eating right now. Very last one over here in the primates is orangutans. They're down here. Sorry if it does see a little bit speed up. We do have something else to get to today. So we're kind of trying to get to see everything else. We do have a little bit more to see though. As we're heading out of the primates off to the right, we do have Asia over here. The Komodo dragon here. I do not see him out, unfortunately. I'm not going to hop in there right now, but they do have a bird landing area. So one of those areas you can walk through and see the birds all above you and all around you and stuff. There does seem to be some tigers up here. I really hope the tigers are out. All right, well, we came over here to see the tiger. Tigers are not out. Again, I don't blame them. It's quite hot, but I was really hoping to see the tigers. It does seem, again, like they have a lot of this. This is the inside of the bird sanctuary here. If you're interested, just see the inside. They have benches in there, just a lot of small birds just flying all about. There's, oh gosh, a lowland Anoya? Anoya? I don't know. Forgive me. He's right back there. Again, one thing I can give this park huge credits for is the theming is very high quality. I'm loving how everything looks here. They do have a sun bear exhibit. The sun bear's out. Oh, the sun bear's out. I love sun bears. Sun bears are so silly. Here's a look at the sun bear. Sun bears, a lot of people know sun bears. They are, I believe, Chinese in origin. I think they're from China originally. A lot of zoos in China have them. They have a pretty noticeable reputation for looking a little bit funky and kind of looking like a person in a suit. So I always like sun bears. As we continue along the Asia path, they do have a great Indian rhinoceros. Oh, he's moving right now. Sitting back in the most shade he can get. So we made it over here to the last part of the Florida area as we exited Asia. There's their zoo theater. They do host shows in there at times. There's only one today at 1 o'clock. That is soon, but again, we unfortunately do have to get on the move. That's why we're kind of walking quickly through the rest of the area. We kind of realized how late it was. But we're heading back to see the stingrays and the manatees again from a different angle. They do have another theater over here, conservation theater. I'm sure they do shows about, you know, conserving wildlife here in Florida. This does look like it's going to be part of the new area. This looks like what that manatee area that we saw building was. So lots of construction going on over here, possibly a new restaurant. And it seems like new manatee viewing areas from under the water. That's going to be a really well improvement. So we'll be happy to see that. Again, coming 2026 at a time. They look like they're pretty far along though. Alrighty, and then from over here, we can't see the last part of the exhibit. I'm not seeing any stingrays right now. Again, they said everything's kind of funky right now because of all the construction they are doing. But there is another group of a lot of manatees over here if it wants to focus in on something other than the chainmail fence. There we go. No, I lied. Stingrays are by themselves over here in a touch area. We'll walk in here real quick to get a view of the stingrays. Yep, a normal stingray kind of touch tank area. Some all coming around. Well, that officially is going to do it for our trip here to the Tampa Zoo. I haven't been here since I was really little, so I don't really remember much from it. But I do now, obviously. Most of this was a new experience for me. But now I really do like this place. I think it's super well themed. There was a lot of really nice themed areas. I was thinking especially Africa. I really like the Africa area. I thought it was super well themed. I'm very excited to see what they do over here in the new section of the Florida area. It looks like they're gonna have otters too in an indoor viewing area. A new underwater viewing area for manatees. Looks like there's also gonna be fish down there. And then there will also be an event space for special events where you can be surrounded by the animals and stuff. So super cool. Again, I wanna thank the Tampa Zoo again for letting us or giving us a mission for the day. We really appreciate it, obviously. And again, definitely check it out. Check it out this summer or even during the winter at some points, because I believe they are open all throughout Christmas, and they do have a Christmas event every year. So definitely, you'll probably see some of the more animals that don't love the heat out as much, but you also will see some of the animals that don't love the cold as much, not out as much. And again, definitely check this place out. I think you'll be surprised just like we were. And thanks for watching. I hope this video brought a little bit more joy into your day, and we'll see you guys next time.